Visionary Realms has been allowing the release of a ton of development news through the Twitch channel of creative director Chris Joppa Perkins, who has stolen the can opener and is setting all of the beans free.
Say into the mic when Ratkin are going to be a playable race just to test the audio. Yeah. That's a good idea.
This week, not only did we get some new Silent Plains areas and lots of talk about the level ranges and some brand new info on water, boats, and ports, but we have some brand new news on lore and the overall game world that has been a mystery as far as I can tell since 2016. You're gonna want to hang on to your face before it falls off. Let's go! Welcome back, y'all. Kingsreach has been the only area of development since 2016, with the known exceptions of the Zone of Amber Fate. The only maps we have ever been given was one very early map made even before the lore changed completely, and one released shortly after the lore change. So these two maps lasted for years as our only visual reference to the game world and what exotic places we may find therein. The interesting thing is that for years, we knew of two continents that were not labeled on these maps, and one not even shown. Frozen Nocta to the north of Kingsreach, and Whitethaw to the south of Kingsreach. And we knew the islands that should be on the map for sure. The Azure Isles, a chain of islands north of Thronefast in the Bethrel Strait, and inhabited by werewolves and very dark forces in deep places. And the Fortress Devair. Then there's the Isle of Vesu, a very shallow island that is underwater completely during certain parts of the year. I'll be interested to see how they work that out. And then there's the Dediglian Vels, a sweltering wasteland overrun by worms of the earth and the sea. And as it was written, once a series of thriving port islands, the Dediglian Vels have been abandoned for thousands of years. And though it seemed impossible now, this expanse was one a fertile oasis of the seas, a respite for countless ships and sailors. Yet it came under the force of great tremors in the deep, and the city could not survive. Now these places do not show up on the map, but they have been mentioned in the lore and are thought to be part of the game world. There is also another city that has been so mysterious most followers of the game don't even know of it. Yet, with the recent stream by Joppa, this exciting location has finally been given the context necessary to place it in the world. But first, let's discuss what we know of Kingsreach. Thronefast is the capital city of humans. Faerthel is the capital city of the elves. And Sorhirith is the capital city of the halflings. Their locations are fairly well known, with the exception of Faerthel, which has not been shown. Although the terrain information from the newest map reveals a likely candidate that matches the lore. Next, we have the smaller towns that dot the landscape. Avelia sits just outside the gates of Thronefast City in the Foreland. And then Demith lies far outside the protection of the glade in the wilds of Avendir's Pass. Blackrose Keep, while not technically a town, is as big as one and will, with the right faction, be a functional community. There is, at some unknown location, a Ratkin village that should be popping up in AVP at some point now that Ratkin models are being finalized, and AVP should be opening up wider at some point in the near future. Then, as we venture out of the pass, we see Sky Durban, sprawled among the ledges and outcroppings of a mighty deicide thorn, towering above the Silent Plains. And completely removed from its foundations was the very first city of men, Havensong, conquered by Asari, one of the humans' own gods, who waged war against them during the Deicide War in the Age of Chaos. Now, this city was established the first year the humans collided with Terminus and lasted roughly 25 years until its destruction. A hint of those looking to swim the depths of the seas, Havensong's buildings, what wasn't burned, was deconstructed and every stone was tossed into the sea as a statement by Asari that he would wipe humans off the face of Terminus. Moving into the Elven lands, we sweep through the gap in the mighty Rones and into the settlement of Lothale. From there, Fairthale is next, but unknown. On the other side of Fairthale is a settlement of Avalon, most likely the site for the elven societal outcasts called the Splinter Folk. Moving back into the Silent Plains, as Sky Durban rules the air, the elf and human port city of Ru'lun rules the Central Seas from the south coast. This brings us to the major reveal of the most recent stream: boat travel. Traveling by ship and eventually even crafting your own has been a major part of the Pantheon's design since its inception. It is known that Thronefast has one of the main ports in the game, as humans are naturally seafaring folk. There will undoubtedly be a boat that takes you from Thronefast to Ru'lun, but also to other continents. The connections through ports are assigned by the relationship to the factions who run the ports. The Thronefast will connect to the continent of Whitethaw, but not to Rainfall due to... let's not get into that. So, how do you get to Rainfall? The mysterious city of Hybrace was given its day in the recent stream by Joppa, finally. After scant info in the lore, and one quick mention by J.N. Gerhardt, lead writer for Pantheon, we have had nothing but one concept art to go on. But man, is it spectacular. Highbrace is a continent, as described by Joppa, that rests between Kingsreach, Whitethaw, and Rainfall. The assumption is that he doesn't mean a large continent, but an island that is a city, more akin to something like Iridan. This port city is a swashbuckling Wild West for travelers, blending the shady underbellies of each continent and allowing trade back and forth, however unsavory. And although it has a strong presence of humans there, Thronefast does not control it. Thronefast will connect to Highbrace, as will Ru'lun and Rainfall, and most likely Whitethaw. So this will make for an incredibly interesting addition to the land and player movement, perhaps setting itself up to be the East Commonlands Tunnel of Pantheon, or the Plane of Knowledge equivalent in spirit. It will also add a very intriguing starting city option for friends of different races, if VR wishes to go that route, and it should. If this is to be the connection hub between continents, then let it be a starting city option. It will be very interesting to see how the map develops going forward, and just how many more things have been in the plans that we don't know about. I mean, they're not that good at keeping secrets.
You know, even as you can see in the gray box here, this is intentionally we're not showing a whole lot of this area because, again, we don't want to give away where this is necessarily exactly, and we don't want to give away too much about what this is.